U.S. officials say an Indian diplomat whose arrest sparked a diplomatic row plans to leave the country soon. They say Dayani Kobradi was granted diplomatic immunity. She did not show up in court earlier when she was indicted on federal charges of visa fraud and making false statements. Meanwhile, amid the tensions, India is shutting down some privileges for Americans. Samnina Udas has more.
The fallout over a diplomatic clash between Washington and New Delhi continues. Behind those white walls is the American Club, right next to the American Embassy and the American School over here. It's really quite a hub for the expatriate community here. It's where a lot of Americans, a lot of American Indians and their friends come for their hamburgers. It's got a very popular restaurant, a bar, a swimming pool, a gym, and even a bowling alley. But now sources here tell us that the Indian government has asked the U.S. Embassy to stop all commercial activities inside that wall there from January 16th onwards. That's because it's against Indian law to extend diplomatic privileges to non-diplomats. This is basically a signal to the Americans that if the U.S. is going to be strict about following the rule book, so far as the Indian diplomat who was arrested for alleged visa fraud in the U.S. last month is concerned, India too will go by its own rule book. This comes just a day after the U.S. Energy Secretary Ernest Moniz postponed his visit to India, which was scheduled for next week. U.S. officials say this is not linked to the diplomatic spat, but it does come against the backdrop of this controversy that just doesn't seem to be going away. Samnina Udas, CNN, New Delhi.